Hey guys, it's Greg from BitGoblin again, and yes, it has been a while. As you can probably tell, some things have changed since the last time you've seen me. I've rearranged my office a bit, though it's still not quite done yet, as evidenced by the poor lighting, and I would like to do something with these bare walls behind me. I've also upgraded my primary gaming PC and workstation with a new graphics card and some fans, and most importantly of all, I am now married. But that all will be stories for another day. Today, I'm making my triumphant return with a tutorial for how to use the AMD VBFlash CLI tool. On the surface, it may not seem super interesting, but I've gotten tons of requests over the last little while to do a tutorial on the CLI version of this since the AMD VBFlash GUI tool was deprecated, funnily enough, around the time that I released my last video on this. Boy, do I have impeccable timing on these things. And people still need to flash their graphics cards with new vbioses for various reasons. So let's get to it and knock out this little tutorial.
You smell that? It smells like a bit goblin.
Today's demonstration will be run on my test bench running Windows 10, and my PowerColor RX 570 4GB graphics card will be the test subject. Though it should be noted that these instructions should work on Windows 11 and any AMD graphics card that is still supported by AMD VBFlash. I would also highly recommend before you get started that you grab GPU-Z from Tech PowerUp or a similar tool like Hardware Info 64 to check out the specs of your graphics card. This is because some of the differences on the cards can be very subtle and hard to pin down, like the vendor and timings of your VRAM on the card, but will make a world of difference when selecting the right image to flash to your card, so it will actually work. Granted, you probably won't break anything. I'll put a little asterisk emphasizing the probably. I won't take any responsibility if you break anything, but you may as well save yourself the effort and stress and just check out the specs of your GPU. For example, I have GPU-Z open on my test bench and I have the RX 570 pulled up on it. There's a lot of useful information here if you're not very familiar with the specs of your card, things like the make, the model, amount and manufacturer of the VRAM, etc. In this case, for my card, we only really need to note the vBIOS string and the VRAM vendor, which, oddly enough, mine says auto-detect, and it really should say like Elpida or Samsung. If I had to guess, it's probably because I flashed an image that I knew not to work as a demo and doesn't support the right VRAM. But anyways, you should also poke around in the Advanced tab to see the memory timings of your VRAM to be absolutely certain you're grabbing the correct vBIOS for your card, as we'll see very shortly. Moving on, just like before, we will first need to download the AMD VBFlash software. Open up a web browser just like Firefox or Chrome and go to techpowerup.com. Then click on the downloads link in the navigation bar, and then again on the AMD VBFlash/ATI Flash button. On the left side of the page, you should see a few different versions of the tool listed. The latest version at the time of this video is 5.0.567. If you're running an RX 5000 series or newer card, then you'll need to grab the version 5.x of this tool and follow along mostly the same, though the commands are slightly different. I'll leave a note in the video description for the different commands to use, or you can refer to the PDF instructions provided in the AMD VBFlash zip file. However, if you're running an RX 500 series card or older like myself, you'll want to click the See Other Versions button and grab the latest 3.x release, which is version 3.31 at the time of this video. Click the blue download button for your version, select a server to download from, open up the .zip file once it's downloaded, and use Windows compressed folder tools to extract the archive. Once that finishes, double-click the file labeled AMD VBFlash driver installer to install the necessary drivers, accept the privilege escalation prompt if needed, enter I in the command window that opens, and press any key to exit the installer. The next step is to download a vBIOS image to flash to our card. Head back to your web browser and back to the Tech PowerUp website if you've navigated away. Hover your mouse over the databases drop-down in the navigation bar, and click on VGA BIOS Collection. Just like in the previous video, you'll want to narrow down this massive table of images by selecting parameters that match your graphics card. For instance, mine is a PowerColor Radeon RX 570 4GB Red Dragon, so I'm filling in info to match that model. If there are multiple vBIOS images that match your model, you will need to dig further to decide which one to go with. Of the four that you see here, the first one is for a slightly different model card, being the Red Devil, so that's out. The next three are for the correct model of card, but the third one has a different vBIOS string and is about a year newer than the other two. If we dig into them, we can see that the first two both support Elpida and Hynix VRAM, with one supporting slightly tighter RAM timings, which is where the advanced menu in GPU-Z will come in handy. And the third image supports Samsung and Elpida memory. I know this card has Samsung VRAM chips, so I'm going to download the last image in this table, but you will need to grab the one that best matches your card. Once the vBIOS image is downloaded, let's copy the file and move it to the folder we just extracted a moment ago with AMD VBFlash to make our lives a little bit easier in the next step. Finally, we can flash our GPU. Let's open a command prompt window as admin and cd into the directory with the AMD VBFlash tool. Type cd space c : users / your username /downloads /AMD VBFlash _win_3.31. You can use the tab key to autocomplete the path folder by folder if that helps, and hit enter. Your prompt should change to something like this since we changed the current working directory. The first thing we should do here is list the GPUs that are detected so we can verify we're flashing the correct one, which is especially important if you have multiple AMD GPUs. Enter the command amdvbflash.exe space -i, and you should see a table like this. Note the number on the far left that corresponds to your GPU, which in my case is 0 because it's the only AMD GPU installed. Next, I would highly recommend saving the image that's currently on your card in case you need to revert back to it later down the road. In my case, it's not so important because I have an image that I know doesn't work on here, but if you have a working image, I would just save it just to be safe. To do that, type amdvbflash.exe space -s space 0 space and give it a name like test.rom. Hit enter and give it a hot minute. If this was successful, you should see a new .rom file appear in your folder. Save this somewhere safe so you don't lose it. Next, we need to unlock the ROM so we can flash a new one, and the command for that is amdvbflash.exe space -unlock ROM space 0. Easy enough. And finally, we can flash the new image by typing the command amdvbflash.exe space -p space 0 space and type in the name of the vBIOS image that you downloaded from Tech PowerUp. I'm using tab to autocomplete the name because I'm lazy. Hit enter, and if it's going well, you should see some output like this in your command prompt window. And when it's done, at the end, you should get a message telling you to reboot to complete the flash. Do that, and I will see you on the other side. After your system comes back up, you should be running the new firmware, but let's just double check by opening up GPU-Z again to verify the new vBIOS was successfully flashed. Once your card's info is loaded, we should see that the vBIOS version string is different and matches the string listed on the website for the image that you downloaded. In my case, the version string is different. This one has a 2 in it, the others did not. And we can also see that the VRAM information is better populated now with the vendor name, size, and all that other fun stuff. Success! Before we wrap things up, let's quickly talk about why you would want to do this in the first place. For one, the main reason in my opinion would be to try and salvage an old GPU that you purchased secondhand, just like I did with this RX 570, or you are trying to save one that's just kind of been sitting around collecting dust that has a corrupted vBIOS somehow. I mentioned this last time around, but I was lucky enough when I bought this card and I filed a refund request through eBay that the seller didn't really fight it at all. Probably because I sent like a novel's worth of evidence of what I tried to get it to work, and they just gave me a full refund as well as telling me to keep the card to get it to work. So I was able to tinker with it a little bit more without concern for wasting my money, and I ended up with a functional GPU for free with a little bit of elbow grease. Though I would say if you run into this issue yourself, purchasing a card secondhand, I would first try to return it for a refund before flashing the vBIOS to avoid muddying the waters and giving the seller a chance to claim you damaged the card, and only after they either refuse the refund or they just tell you to keep it with a refund is when I would go forth with trying to flash it. Another common reason to flash a different vBIOS is to tune your card better for a specific use case, and the big one that comes to my mind is crypto mining, however controversial that might be. This can mean tweaking the memory and core clock speeds to be a bit more efficient, or even just outright disabling the video ports to save some more power. And this can be great to min-max your returns on the GPU, but it also carries some risk of bricking your GPU. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a very, very small risk. Not that I want to scare you or anything, the risk is very minimal, but if there is even just a very, very slight amount of risk, that is still significantly more than zero risk if you were to, not flash the vBIOS. And honestly, just usually isn't really worth the effort for things like gaming, where at most you might squeeze out like a few more FPS here and there. Unless you're like me though, and you just love tinkering with computer hardware. Other than that, I can't think of any other reasons you would need to flash a new vBIOS on your card, though I'm sure there are others out there. So obviously it's not really something I would expect you to need to do on a regular basis, but I just wanted to talk about this since it is useful to know how to do and be comfortable with when the need does arise. Personally, this is something I had never done before until I bought this card and needed to flash a new vBIOS to it. So that was a fun learning experience. And honestly, I can't count the number of times someone's left a comment on my last video asking about the GUI, like, where is it? Realizing it's deprecated, and then asking me for an updated tutorial for the CLI. So here you go. Alright, that's going to do it for this one. As always, I'm curious to know what your all thoughts are on this video. Did you think it was a waste of time, or did you actually find it useful? Be sure to sound off in the comment section down below. Also, I know it's been a while since I've last made videos, and I really do appreciate everyone that has watched my content in the last, year plus that I've been dormant. It really does mean a lot to me to see even the small number of people that are still watching my videos and finding some use out of them. I don't want to go too deep into it here. It was a bunch of normal life stuff just getting in the way, but if you're curious to know what's been going on, then let me know in the comments that you'd like a little follow-up or update for where my head's been at and stuff. Anyways, if you disliked the video, then you know what to do. But if you did like it, then go hit that like button and also consider getting subscribed and hitting the bell icon so you don't miss my future videos. I've also got a Discord server if you'd like to join the community and just chat and hang out with us. Or if you need it, we can try to help you out with your PC gaming problems. I hope you all have a good day, and I will catch you in the next one.